Well, authorities in California say two teenagers have opened fire at the largest mosque in San Diego County, killing 3 men before turning their weapons on themselves. For the very latest, we can cross live to France 24's Wassim Cornet. Wassim, tell us, what more do we know about what happened at this mosque in San Diego County?
Yeah, let's talk about the sequence of events. A police chief of San Diego says the first calls came in at 11:43 a.m. local time about shots being reported at the Islamic Center of San Diego, the largest mosque in that area in the city of San Diego. Officers arrived within the next 4 minutes and they found 3 men killed, unfortunately, outside the center. One of them was a security guard that worked for the center. Then came in other confusing reports that there were shots being fired at a landscaper just a few blocks away who was just doing his job. He was shot at, but thankfully not injured. And then those final reports from a neighbor seeing 2 teenagers, 17 and 19 years old, dead in a car, apparently from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Now, this was the largest Islamic center in San Diego. It happened shortly before noon, and it could have been much, much worse because there are 5 daily prayers from Muslims that are required. The midday prayer happens around 1 p.m. here, and there are approximately 400 people, 400 worshippers that come to that mosque to pray daily at 1 p.m. And so just an hour later, less than an hour later, you would have had hundreds of people coming to that parking lot, to that mosque, as those shooters were opening fire. But there were people inside that mosque, unfortunately. Must have been a terrifying situation for them. It is a school for the ages of 3 to 7, pre-K through 3rd grade, as well as teachers. There are also adult classes. There are also outreach programs. There was earlier today sort of workshop for non-Muslim people who wanted to come and learn a little bit more about Islam. The police chief has praised the heroic actions of the responding officers who quickly worked to neutralize or look for the threat. And also he praised the security guard who he says played a pivotal role in what could have been a much more dramatic situation. You know, you tend to think of these active shooter situations. Most of the time it is only one shooter. You see some sort of what appears to be a coordinated attack by 2 people, and you think of the number of people who were inside that center. It could have led to much more carnage. And one last note about the sort of context that this is happening in. The police chief is saying that we are considering this a hate crime until it's not. The organization CARE, the Council on American Islamic Relations, which is the chief Muslim or a body here representing Muslims in the U.S., has said that last year they received close to 8,700 complaints of anti-Muslim bias or discrimination. That is the most they've ever received in a single calendar year since they started issuing that report back in 1996, 30 years ago.
Wassim, thanks so much for that. Wassim Cornet with more on that deadly shooting at a mosque in San Diego County. Thanks so much.